everybody, welcome back. Today is going to be a super exciting video tutorial because along with how to make this cardstock frame for your projects, we're also announcing our very first contest giveaway. The contest is being sponsored by Creative Fabrica, which is actually where we'll find the template for this exact project, which is also linked in the descriptions as well for you if you want to try it out. Now there are contest rules and information. Again, everything will be given to you and we'll pop it up right here for you. There are a few things to do to be able to enter into this contest. The main thing is we want to be interactive with our viewers and our subscribers. So you will have to post a project that you use, something with Creative Fabrica, designs, fonts, projects, whatever it was through Creative Fabrica. You'll go ahead and post that project onto our Facebook group, the Sublimation Life. We also have the newer sister Facebook group that you can also participate on that group for this contest. That group is also in the descriptions for you, so you can go ahead and join that group as well. So the most exciting rule I think about this contest is that you can be entered into it more than one time. The first entry will be when you go into the Facebook group, the Sublimation Life, and post your project into that group. Second entry will be to post onto the sister group. Again, it's linked in the descriptions for you at the very bottom. Third entry is for referring other participants into the contest. They will also need to post into those groups and join those groups and then just say who they were referred by. But then that also gives them their own entry as well. Also, subscribing to this YouTube channel will give you an entry, and then also sharing the YouTube channel and the posts for the contest will also give you an entry. So there are several opportunities to put yourself into the contest with a higher chance of winning that ultimate prize. What is the prize, you're asking? Well, let's also pop that picture up right here as well. Super exciting, as you can see right here. We're going to be doing a giveaway for a brand new Cricut Maker along with the accessories to go with it. The contest will be starting April 17th and will go all the way through April 23rd. So that's one whole week to get your posts in and your entries in. Right after that, we'll go ahead and announce the winner on both of the Facebook groups and on the YouTube channel as well. Now that we've announced that exciting news, let's go ahead and jump in how to make the cardstock frame for your projects. This template, again, it's linked in the descriptions for you. It is on Creative Fabrica and it is one of their designs that is included in their subscription. Now with their subscriptions, normally it's $29 a month, ultimately rounding up to about $300 plus a year. Right now they are having a promotion though, where it is $4.99 a month, billed at $59 per year. Huge savings, and you get, gosh, millions of different graphics, fonts, so much stuff to use in your projects. So that will also be linked in the description. Go check that out. Let's go ahead and go over the materials needed for this project and how to make it. Let's get started. So the materials needed for this frame is actually pretty simple and basic. You just need cardstock. This is holographic cardstock that I believe I got from Michael's. It's really cool, so I figured I would try it out for this project. You'll also need some kind of glue. As always, I like to use my hot glue gun. You can use crafting glue though, whatever works best for you. You'll need some kind of cutting machine. We'll be using the Cricut Explore Air 2 in this project, along with Design Space. So let's go ahead and jump into Design Space and let's get started. Here we are in Cricut Design Space. As you can see, I have a blank canvas here. To upload an image, you'll go to your left sidebar, press the upload button, and then you'll go up to upload image, and then you'll upload whatever file you're needing to use for your design. In my case, I've already uploaded the file. We're going to go ahead and click that, go over to add canvas, and you'll have a template that pops up like this. We can go ahead and enlarge that so we can see it a little bit better, like so. Once the template is uploaded, you will go ahead and click on it. Go over to your right sidebar where your layers are. Go up to the little double square icon that says ungroup and click that. And this will detach your frames from your shadow box parts. Once you've done that, you can then individually select the shadow box front that you would like to use. For today's project, I'm just going to use the basic square, so we will go ahead and delete the remaining 4. Place your square off to the side, and now we'll go ahead and use these parts right here, and these are for the frame. Now there's a couple of steps that we need to complete before we go into cutting our pieces out. The first thing, you can go ahead and move this square off to the side as well. It's not needed at this time. The next step is going to be changing a few of the solid lines to scoring lines. This allows for easy folding with your cardstock once you have all of your pieces cut out. The pieces that we are going to change are these 5 pieces here, and you're only going to change the lines that are on the inner section, not the outer border. To do this, you'll go ahead and click on one piece. To your right, it'll highlight everything right over here. This is for the one individual piece. You'll see there is a line and a box. You want the lines, you want to highlight that. Go back over to your top where your operations is. Change it from a basic cut to a score line. The color doesn't matter, it'll automatically change it for you. You'll come back here and now you have individual score lines with your border cut line. You'll want to continue to do this with all of the remaining 4 pieces. Alright, so now that we have all of the necessary solid lines changed to scoring lines, there is one more step we need to do before we go ahead and cut out all of our pieces. As you can see, the border of these pieces are in the right place with the scoring line. Let me click on that. I'm going to go ahead and go over to Make It because I want to show you what happens if you don't do this next step, which is really important. So let's go ahead and click on Make It. And you can see it's coming up where it's just your score lines, and then your border lines are going to be somewhere over here on a different mat. And we don't want that. We want the score lines still in the right place as the outer borders. So we'll cancel. And what we'll do from here is go ahead and click each individual piece. We'll start with this one here. Go over all the way again to the right side panels. Go all the way down to the Attach button. And you'll want to go ahead and do that for the remaining 4 pieces as well. So go ahead and do that. Now that you've attached those parts, you can go on over to Make It. And now you'll see that the score lines are in the right place and the border and the score lines are still connected. So now your template and your parts will all cut out properly. As you're cutting out your parts, just make sure nothing is overlapping each other. Make sure there's enough room for each part to get cut out nice and solid. Once you have that done, we'll go over to Continue. And depending on the material that you're using, you'll want to select the accurate base material. For most projects using cardstock, if it's just plain cardstock, cardstock for intricate cuts works perfect with the default pressure. Glitter cardstock works best for glitter with more pressure. The type of cardstock that I'm going to be using today is thicker, so I'm going to go ahead and do the glitter cardstock also with more pressure. Just like that. As you can see here, it shows you the tools you need. You will need a scoring stylus, a fine point blade, and then of course your cutting machine. Once you have everything set, go ahead and load your paper, your mat, and go ahead and press go. Alrighty, so we have all of our pieces cut out for the frame, the front, the back, everything that we need, the stand. We have our hot glue. In my case, I have hot glue. You can use regular crafting glue also, whatever works best for you. Altogether, you should have about 8 pieces cut out. This is an extra piece. You don't necessarily need it. It's the inner cut from the front frame. So it just depends on what you want to do with it. I'll show you what I do with it, depending on the type of cardstock you use. But for the first part, we're gonna go ahead and start working with these 4 pieces here. So let's go ahead and move everything else out of the way for now. And we'll bring these into the center focus. It's the actual borders of the frame. These 4 pieces should all have scoring lines. So just like that, you can see there's a score line, and that was created with the stylus, the scoring stylus that we used with the Cricut. You're gonna go ahead and fold along each and every one of those lines, make them really nice and crisp, and then we'll move on to the next step. I'll go ahead and do this one slowly to show you, and then we'll go ahead and do the last 3. So go ahead and start bending in, make them nice and crisp, and just like that. And just keep going. Make sure you fold along the line, otherwise it won't look as good, it won't line up properly. So just being mindful about where you're folding your paper. Okay, so there's the first fold there. Make it really nice and crisp. You can use your nail and just kind of run along there, and do that with the remaining folds. All right, so there's the first folded border. You can see everything is really nice, straight, and crisp. So just make sure it looks like that. We'll go ahead and do that with the remaining 3 pieces, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, so you should have your 4 border pieces nice and folded. We'll go ahead now individually connect them. You'll go ahead and take one. I like to turn it upside down. You have one longer piece and one shorter piece right there. The shorter piece is going to fold inward, and the longer piece will be on the outer part. Go ahead and glue the short piece and lay the longer part over and hold until your glue is set. You want to make sure that it comes right connecting to the very edge and lines up at the corners. So I'll go ahead and do this one here. Have my hot glue gun ready to go. Just a line, a little dab you can start with if that's easier, which sometimes I do like to do just to make sure it's evenly lined up properly. And we'll just lay it along there, right along the edge, make sure it's properly lined up, and right against the corner there. Go ahead and hold and press firmly. Just like that. So it's connected in the initial spot, and then you can go through along and glue the rest of the way up there. So that should be your first piece, nice and glued together. You can see it's really nice and straight, and it just folds really well into itself. Be careful that you're not folding your tabs in yet, because you will need them. I accidentally did mine, so I'll just pop it back out like that. And that way it folds really well. So go ahead and do the remaining 3 just like that. All right, so we should have all 4 pieces of our border connected, looking like this. You should notice by now that they do look a little bit different, and there is a reason for that. That is how they connect, which I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do right now. So when we're putting these together, do be aware that there is a certain way to put them together, otherwise it won't fit. When you're putting them in, this tab here with the indentation there goes on the top of this connector here. This tab will insert into the bottom of this side over here. So when you go in, you're going to pull this tab down, and then this one will go upwards like that, and it'll go in and do a connecting 90-degree angle like so. We'll glue those together, let that set, and then you'll go ahead and glue these 2 pieces together, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, let's go ahead and put our first part together. Now the tabs, we're gonna want to bend the one with the indent. We're gonna bend it downwards. And then the triangular one, you're gonna fold it in just slightly to where it's almost flush with that edge. You don't wanna bend it too far because then when you go to try to glue this on, it won't set on very well. So go ahead and do that. Just a little daub right in the center, and then you'll press onto that. You don't need a whole lot, just a little there. Make sure you line it up really nicely. I just kind of do that and then press into there, and then make sure the top is lined up, the edges are lined up. Just squish it in there like that. But you want to make sure it's going to line up properly, so take your time with this part. So that's how I like to do my first one, and then it kind of does a little hinge effect like that. And this part now that's glued together, you're going to push it into the inside, and then this part is going to slide into there as well. So just like that. Take your time again, you don't want to move anything or tear anything apart, but it will slide in just right, just like that. And then you can add a little dab of glue right here, and that way it'll keep it together for you. So go ahead and do that. And again, not very much, just a little. You don't want it to spread or make a mess. Oops, don't throw it either. So just like that. Very simple, very easy. Just again, make sure you're taking your time. There you go. Now do the exact same thing with these 2 pieces here. All right, so now you have your 2 corner pieces that should be looking like this. Now, you're gonna do the exact same thing when putting these together. Make sure though that they're opposite of the same pattern. You don't wanna put them together like this because it won't fit. So you're gonna turn that backwards, and it should be like that, where this part will go in and that side will go in as well. And then we'll again just go ahead and connect those. All right, so you should have your border frame all put together. You can see if there's little gaps there, it's okay, because the next step is going to cover those up. Again, just as long as you're following the steps properly, it's going to work really well. But like I said, it does take a little bit of practice, a little bit of time, especially on those last connectors. Just be patient and take your time with it. But let's go ahead and put the front of the frame on, and that's going to cover up the lines. All right, so we'll grab our frame piece, which is this outer bordered one like this. As you can see, it just fits right over the very top of that, just like that. You're gonna go ahead and glue that on, just making sure that it's flush again with the edges. So go ahead and do that. Again, I just like to start with a little dot in the corner. That's just how I like to start my project when I'm gluing. That way you have more control over it. I'm just lining it up right at the corner there, and then making sure that the whole edge is lined up as well. And then press down. All right, and then just line all the way across and press down on that. and then go all the way around until it's all put on. All right, so now you have the face of the shadow box on. Now we'll go ahead and turn it on over and we'll do the back side. You'll take the largest solid back, and again, you'll just put that on the back side and glue it down into place. All right, so now you should have your back side on, the front side, and that's where we should be at this point. Now the next thing, and this is optional if you want, the part that was cut out from the center of this, as you can see, if you're using a cardstock that doesn't have both sides colored, I like to go ahead and just insert that right there. It's not going to cover the whole inside, but it's going to cover up quite a bit. Plus you'll have stuff probably inside here, so you're not going to see much of the very border there. And again, that one's optional, and whatever you want to do with it, you can. I'm going to go ahead and glue mine in, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, so there you have it. You have the whole shadow box put together. The last thing we have to do is put the stand on. All right, so putting the stand on is super simple. Again, you're just going to follow the score lines, fold them, and I'll show you how to fold those. The long top one, it's going to go backwards. So fold your top one backwards here. And just like that. And then the tabs, you're first going to fold them back. Again, just follow that score line there. Okay, and then you'll pull those tabs back up, and now it'll fold into half like this. And the very edge of the tab will go backwards. So your stand should be folded and looking something like this. Next, we're going to go ahead and turn our frame upside down as we're going to put it onto the back side. The easiest way I have found is to glue the tabs on first, and they will be glued exactly against the very edge of the bottom. So go ahead and do that. And I like to just do one at a time, that way we're getting it on there nice. And then go ahead and do the second tab. All right, so you should be connected like that. Now you can go ahead and just kind of see where it's going to fold into itself. I like to do that, and then just actually squish it down. And where it lays is where it's going to actually line up. So I like to lay it down like that, fold this back a little bit, put glue on, and then lay it back down. Okay, go ahead and lift it up a little bit, stick your hand under, and just kind of flatten the glue out on the back of the stand. And let it dry or set. And that's how you put the stand on. Super, super simple. And now if you can see that, it stands up for you. And that is how you make the little shadow box with the stand. Super cute, super simple, makes great decorations. All right, so that's how you make the little shadow box from Creative Fabrica. Super easy, it's a great template, and it works really well. So if you want, go ahead and check that out. The link is in the description for you. It'll take you right to this template. Also, don't forget, and I will again put the information popped up right here, that the contest will be starting April 17th, and it'll be going for 1 week. Then we'll choose the winner at the end of the week. Make sure to really read the details and how to enter. Again, you can enter more than one way and a few times. And we'll see you back here for more fun projects. If you enjoyed this project, go ahead and boop that like button, subscribe to the channel, share for others so they can get helped as well. Have a wonderful day and happy crafting.